Hello, good afternoon. I have a new storybook that I just bought and have been enjoying because I keep thinking about our squirrels and our gray squirrel that's been running around out here digging holes in the front lawn and stealing all the chestnuts that we had outside. And I found this book called Those Darn Squirrels, about a man who feels like the squirrels are causing more problems. So let's read it together. Those Darn Squirrels by Adam Rubin. I think the story's also about, he's also an artist. On the outskirts of town, at the edge of the forest, there was a little old house. The only thing older than the little house was the man who lived in it. His name was Old Man Fuchswire. Old Man Fuchswire was so old that when he sneezed, dust came out. He was also a grump. He hated pie. He didn't like puppies. The only thing he liked was birds. All summer long, the old man painted pictures of the birds that visited his backyard. There were whirlybirds and bonga birds, baba birds and yaba birds. Even a rare flugel bird came by once or twice. Fuchswire's paintings weren't very good, but the birds never complained. This is a picture of him sneezing out the dust. When the air turned crisp and the leaves began to change colors, which is the season we're in right now called fall or autumn, the old man grew sad. He knew that soon the birds would fly south for the winter, as they did every year, and then he would be lonely. Then he had an idea. What if he fed the birds? Would they stick around? So Old Man Fuchswire built beautiful bird feeders and put them up all around his backyard. He filled the feeders with delicious seeds and berries, and soon birds came from all over the forest just to eat in his yard. But the birds weren't the only ones who liked the bird feeders. The squirrels did too. Not many people know this, but squirrels are the cleverest of all the woodland creatures. In fact, they're fuzzy little geniuses. They can make a house out of a tree, a bed out of a bunch of leaves, and a box kite out of twigs, dirt, and squirrel spit. They're also excellent at math. Now I want you to look at these drawings. The illustrations are so funny about those birds and squirrels, what they're making. Winter was fast approaching and the squirrels needed to gather as much food as they could to get ready. So they decided to take some of the bird food. The birds were not happy. Oh no, neither was Old Man Fuchswire. When he discovered what had happened, he shook his old man fist and yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" He filled up the feeders again, but this time he hung them up from a clothesline. Then he went back inside, confident that the squirrels would no longer be able to get the seeds or berries. But those squirrels were determined. They devised a plan, and this time they took all of the food from the bird feeders. You see how tricky they are bending that tree branch over. Those darn squirrels. The birds were furious. Harumph! Harumph! Yelled a bonga bird. Those darn squirrels! Yelled Old Man Fuchswire. Yum, said the squirrels. Do they look happy? I see them right there resting with their full bellies. But man, Old Man Fuchswire, he does not look very happy. No. Now it was Old Man Fuchswire's turn to devise a plan. He went to the store to get some supplies. He bought lasers and clamps, wires and springs. He bought all sorts of tools and built a veritable fortress around his bird feeders. Then he refilled them very carefully. Na, 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 snorted the flugel bird. Look at that fortress he made. The squirrels stayed up all night making their plan. They drank cherry cola and ate salt and vinegar chips to help them stay awake. Finally, they had it, the perfect plan. They put on their tiny helmets. This is one of my favorite pictures. The squirrels are wearing little squirrel helmets and prepared to launch themselves into the air over the fence between the lasers and onto the bird feeders. Look at these drawings. Do you see the squirrel helmets? So funny. I like to imagine Gray Squirrel running through the yard wearing a squirrel helmet. That's what I'm thinking in my head. The first squirrel misfired and hit a tree. Ka-dunk. The second squirrel went too high and landed in the bucket. And the third squirrel sailed clear over the top of the house. Oh, their plan doesn't seem to be working. Oh, the birds laughed and laughed. They each had one last delicious mouthful of seeds and berries from the old man feeders. Then they flew south for the winter, just as they did every year. Yelled the flugel bird. After the birds left, old man Fuquire was lonely, just as he was every year. He fixed himself some cottage cheese and pepper, his favorite snack. But he was still lonely. When he looked out the window, the squirrels could tell he wasn't happy. "Go away," shouted the old man. "I don't like you squirrels." Sometimes when people are lonely or sad, they act angry. It's just interesting how all those emotions in our body come out in different ways. So he was feeling sad and lonely and yelled at those squirrels. But the squirrels knew better. They held a meeting deep inside of a large tree. Squirrel meeting tonight, that says right there. They decided to give the old man a present to make up for taking all of his seeds and berries. Now, not many people know this, but squirrels are not only fuzzy little geniuses. They also collect just about anything they find on the ground. These squirrels had a vast stockpile of spectacular junk to choose from. But what would Fuquire like? Bottle caps? Popsicle sticks? Postage stamps? Finally, they had it. The perfect gift. Look at all those things that they'd been saving up. Little treasures they found. The squirrels stacked all of their loose change on old man Fuquire's doorstep. There were dimes and pennies. There were nickels and quarters. There were even a few tokens from Coco's arcade. It all added up to $47.36, plus a few rounds of skee ball. See up here, they're using their abacus to do their math. And they stacked all of those coins on his doorstep. "Maybe you squirrels aren't so bad," said Fuquire when he found the coins, "but I still like birds better." This gave the squirrels another idea. They raided their junk collection again and got to work. So I keep thinking about these squirrels and thinking about how it's a little bit like preschool. We have so many things tucked away here. Have you noticed that in our art cupboards and in our cut and punch? And when I put things in your art packets, we just have lots of little things. I know some of you love to make things out of other things they find. And these squirrels are the same way. They keep saving all their stuff and they keep making new things out of it. Can't wait for you to see what they're gonna make now. So the squirrels had their idea and they went back to their collection and got to work. When old man Fuquire woke up the next morning, he was amazed to see the birds had returned. But wait, these aren't birds. They were squirrels in disguise. "Great googly moogly," said old man Fuquire. "This will make quite a painting." He ran outside and took down the lasers and the wires and the spring-loaded trapeze. He turned all the bird feeders into squirrel feeders. And then he painted until he ran out of bristles. The squirrels were so overjoyed, they had a party in Old Man Fuquwire's house. "Those darn squirrels," said Fuquwire, and he shook his old man fist and smiled. See them having their party in his house. Those squirrels, I love that they didn't give up on Old Man Fuquwire. They were trying to figure out a way to make him happy, even though they were also teasing him a little bit with stealing all his bird food. Anyway, I loved sharing those darn squirrels with you. And I hope when you see the squirrels outside in your house, you think about, imagine in your mind what might be going on behind the scenes. What maybe do they have hiding out back there in their stash? All right, guys, I can't wait to see you again soon. Have a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye.